we have the second and the last panel discussion for the day, um, with again few of my favorite people. I told you, like almost everybody is my favorite people here. This is an invite-only event, so if you're here, you're my favorite. So we have Kujtim, um, um, entrepreneur, business leader who has founded and who is leading great companies. Right now, he's the CEO of Woshapp, a company that's revolutionizing car care with environment-friendly approaches. Great to have you, Kujtim.
Great to be here.
And we have Magdalena, all the way from Poland. She now lives in Denmark, a serial founder. She has founded uh, one of the greatest impact companies called Her Impact in Europe, which has helped a lot of women find career that they really love. And currently, she's the CEO of Teamway. Welcome.
Thank
So
you.
glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And we have Katrin from the government of Estonia, flew in all the way from Estonia. The Root Code's European HQ is in Estonia. We started a business in Estonia almost 5 years back, and I've been an e-resident of Estonia. The government has been absolutely supportive. Katrin has been a big fan and a great friend. So good to have you. Thank you.
Hi. Thank you.
So, in this panel discussion, uh, previously we spoke about building products, right? Now we are going to talk about building businesses. And when we think about building businesses, making sure businesses are successful is one thing, and also making sure they are sustainable is another thing. So, we are going to focus on how do you build businesses that are successful and sustainable. And we are going to look at it from multiple angles, from a government angle to a corporate and startup founders and the leader angle. Um, let's start off with Kujtim. Kujtim, Woshapp is known for its innovative approach in the car care industry, right? Um, can you share how sustainability practices have contributed to the success of your business? Because that seems to be one of the cornerstone of, why Woshapp is successful.
Yes, and you all heard that they practiced the car washing yesterday, and the
I
car
did.
is outside, so you will have the opportunity to tell us how good
Will you give
learned
me
the
a good tip?
so it's exam time. Briefly about Woshapp, we have a water-free car care.
Mhm.
So that means that our washers bike to the place where the car is parked, and we save the water and also time for transportation and relocation, this kind of thing. So, and if you imagine in Sweden, we do today like 40 million car washes. So that's, if you calculate that by 1.2 hours per car wash, that's equals like almost 40,000 full-time employees on a yearly basis. In Sweden, we love cars. We have 7 millions. We buy 300,000 new cars, so it's a huge industry, and it also consumes a lot. And we are extremely dependent on our transportations, obviously.
Yeah.
And if you look at what we do, we are at the core tech company with a sustainable dimension actually built in a business model. And now we're taking the company to the next steps, and we are growing like 3 digits, so it's good. And we are working with processes, structure, and culture to make it a large global company in the coming years. And that's of course managing change and managing growth. It's the key things that we are working in. So we have a sustainable business model at the core, but we're also now working to build the company so it can grow in a sustainable way, also in the coming 10 years. And that's why you also join us, because you used the word ecosystem here in the previous panel. I think that's the way to see things today. The companies need to find the right people, and they need to find the people where they are. And in the case, we found them in Sri Lanka. So and it's nice to be here today, to have you here. We have almost 2,000 people in Sri Lanka working for companies that are the head office in Linköping, which is amazing. So yeah, being a global company also for us is natural to work with global great people.
That brings me to a interesting announcement. So we just partnered with Woshapp Rootcode is going to help Woshapp build technology in the next steps.
After you pass the exam later. So I'm just saying.
Um,
And you would know I will not joke about such a thing.
I did try my best in washing cars yesterday. I was in two locations, KVD and Porsche in Stockholm. And then I was with the Woshapp team on the ground who are really doing these environment friendly car washing and polishing and all that. You have some great people on the ground, and they were proudly wearing the Woshapp t-shirts and hoodies, and I think there's a big movement that's being created, and we waste so much of resources, natural resources, on as many things as washing a car. So good luck, and kan kata word, Kujtim. Thank you. Uh, Magdalena, so being a founder and CEO of multiple tech companies in your lifetime, can you discuss how cultivating a positive and collaborative culture is crucial for building a business that's both successful and sustainable?
Yes, so maybe a little bit about me and my story. So I'm a lawyer and I worked in corporates, and after 4 years I decided that it's not exactly what I want to do in life, because I want to be more active and more present among people. And I started totally by chance organizing networking meetings for, first of all, it was 20 women at my home, and then it became a community and a movement for women to meet and talk business. And out of that, I grew a company, her impact company. Within 4 years, we've been 100,000 women who are members, users of the platform. And it was not only then about networking, but more about kind of changes in the future of work, enabling women find jobs and connect with companies, build their careers. And after the company was acquired in Poland, I decided to go to more globally in Copenhagen, when I'm currently at CEO at Teamway. And Teamway is a little bit similar space, because it's also a hiring platform, but we mainly help freelancers in tech as well find interesting projects and work. And definitely my agenda of diversity is very present there, because I still believe that women becoming entrepreneurs and thinking about owning their own careers, it's something that is a future, and we try to establish more diversity in the companies. So this is exactly what I've been doing since years, and I feel that regarding your question now, I've been building communities mainly, and I've been from the very beginning thinking more about the users and the user perspective. So I was actually listening to, first of all, those 20 women, but then obviously many more that I gathered around. And I feel that building a culture is actually through listening to people, through actually answering their needs. So not only building a product that we love as founders, because usually we are very stick to that, and it's like our babies, but at the same time actually constantly checking whether this product really fulfill the needs of both customers, but especially our users, and whether they really want to use that. So this is my experience. Second, I think that it was very hard for me to come to another country to move. It was in the summer this year to Denmark, because Poland is more compared in terms of culture to US, I would say. So a very like hardworking place, extremely hard for also founders to actually reach to other markets outside. And I feel that it was interesting because I jumped into the role of a company that already existed. So I didn't started the company. So I had a lot to learn myself, how to create a new culture, how to actually combine my experience, but also not scare the team and people, that we are going to respect everyone, and everyone believes, and that we are going to build values together as a team. That is still a journey, and I don't say that I did it yet, but I feel it's something that I try to do also with people, including everyone in the company.
Great. Now let's hear from a government angle. Um, Katrin, e-residency is a very interesting program of the Estonian government. And how has that enabled or how has that fostered entrepreneurship and building businesses for global entrepreneurs?
Well, this is our main mission, is actually to empower small businesses, solopreneurs, freelancers, essentially to realize their ideas, to make things happen. Because if we look at the private sector, then the digitalization or digital transformation has been very quick, and you were covering variety of services, what Rootcode is doing in collaboration with the companies here. I mean, we can see like a huge progress. But what comes to, if you look at the global level, what governments actually do in terms of the private public services, it has been not only significantly slower, but it's also like a significant roadblock what comes to the equal opportunities in creating the companies. And I mean, our good neighbors here in Sweden probably know that Estonia is the first digitally transformed country. We did have a benefit of being only just over 1 million in the world, and this great situation in 91 when essentially we had our own country, but absolutely no wealth, no resources, no nothing. So we had to figure out the efficient way of actually running the independent country. And it ended up being being the situation in the society. I go a little bit back because I have also experienced it in my own way. It ended up being in a situation where, when I was a young journalist in 2007, when I moved to work in Brussels, I was completely gobsmacked because I didn't understand how is it possible that everything is still on paper. I can't do international bank transfers, nothing. For me, it was a little bit, it was really stunning. And now, in my current job, I have understood that really we are talking about, huge countries where the government services, in terms of the bureaucratic kind of red flags and the bureaucratic roadblocks, are just so far behind. And 9 years ago, Estonian government decided that we will basically do do a crazy experiment and establish gateway for non-resident entrepreneurs and see how it works for, first of all, Scandinavian Nordic businesses that already had investments in Estonia, and to make it possible for them to also have a digital ID and run everything remotely. And it really snowballed. A lot of people like yourself discovered, who had never been in Estonia, discovered that this is for them, it gives them the flexibility, it frees them from administrative burden, and it opens the European market up for them to go global in this sense. And yeah, today basically e-residency is empowering all these entrepreneurs who want to try out their ideas to get it to get off the ground, like cost effectively and easily.
Yeah, I must say, I've been running the Rootcode HQ in Tallinn, Estonia for like 5 years. I've never walked into a government office. I've never signed on paper ever in my life. Taxes to everything. So, really good job with what you guys are building. Yeah, thank you. A couple of common questions to all of you. I think whoever, if you think it's relevant, please add. One of the questions that I wanted to ask you is, in your respective fields, what are the key challenges businesses face when it comes to striving for success and sustainability, and how do they generally overcome these hurdles?
I think if you look at from our point of view is we are a tech company, but we are a people-intensive company. So it's we do low-tech work in a high-tech environment. And even though in this room everybody's accustomed to apps and lots of things, we still need to recognize that the user adoption and tech adoption is kind of somehow lacking in parts of society, which might be strange. So for our point of view is to put the technology all the way to the hands of people. Ulf mentioned it. If it's not easy, then don't do it. And so don't over-engineer thing, and then somehow making technology easy accessible. And you would know that, Alaga. That's why you were washing cars yesterday. So I'm really happy to see that the traditional software industry that has been engineerly driven is now going. So lots of our people now walk the shoes of the customers and walk the shoes of the people out that work in the ground. So for me and in my own company is to actually shortcut all the overhead in the company, so the developers actually know what they're doing, and I'm quite sure that we will both win lead time and time to market. And we saw that fantastic example from Agricam, where we did that, and I think that's also a way to go to kill off some old school methodology. So and also innovate the way actually technology is produced. So that's a big challenge for me, because we need to grow fast, we need to grow a lot, and we need to grow in imperfect situations. Lots of new countries, we don't have time to do the long playbook.
Great. Anybody else?
In my company, we work in HR, which is highly competitive market nowadays. And I feel that we really have to think very smart whether we want to build more technology, and whether we want to actually, what do we want to achieve? So not to over build our product, but actually start looking whether it is generating sales, it is generating customers, and it's actually working. Because I see nowadays that with software you can just go and find so many opportunities and ideas and just build, and then it's not working, not connected, it's like too much or not understood on the market. And I'm a huge fan of simplicity, and I feel that with sustainability, this is the very important part, not to build too much.
Great. Katrin?
Yeah, from my side, when I was thinking about this question that you asked, I mean, it can be looked from different perspectives. I have also run my own company, so to my parents. But if I'm just saying something that is demonstrated in Estonian, economy, is that we have put 1% of GDP into the digitalization. Essentially, we invest it every year, and we win 2%. So, and e-residency, by, we are essentially serving the non-residents who have a digital ID, who create 20% of Estonian new companies every year, and who are founders of 30% of our startups. They can choose whether they pay taxes or not. The residency is not a tax scheme, but even without the mandatory having this mandatory tax residency, we essentially, the program itself brings back to Estonian government 7.6 times as much as this is return on investment, as much as it costs. So it has proved itself as a very that we have really made something work, that we have. Of course, right now there are Lithuania, Latvia, Portugal is talking about it, Finland, other countries about, starting the same scheme, but, we have a kind of a situation where we are still the only ones doing it in the world. So, not really having a competitor in this respect.
Great. I love the way as a country, how Estonia approaches things. I think you approach it like a startup, even the residency program and everything. So
we are government startup. That's why. That's what we say.
Great. Okay, can each of you share a piece of advice for the business leaders, the startup founders, and everybody here on how do you build businesses that are successful in short term, but at the same time sustainable in long term?
I think getting the right people on board. And that means also getting the wrong people off board. It's quite easy in theory, of course. And the right people will do great things, and great things will attract even more great people, and that will also create that flywheel effect. And that's kind of the easiest predictor actually in companies that grow successfully a lot. They have some great core of people that attract more, and start with the people and end with the people, and then they will fix the rest. So I would say spend a lot of time in recruitment and due diligence, and also don't be afraid of offboarding with people that don't have it anymore, because growing with 10% is tough, 20% is tougher, 30, 40, 50, 100, that's extremely challenging. So everybody will put to the test, and I think that's the most barriers come there in the companies that stop growing. So have that in mind, because it's quite basics actually about it. It's a major blocker in especially younger companies.
Great advice.
For me, more like I would say maybe from my story, more successful company. Definitely, what I feel personally is that I've never given up. I started Her Impact just before pandemic. Obviously, I didn't know that it will appear, but at the moment it started, I had like no choice, because like everyone rejected, the investors just pull off the offers, and I had no single customer. But I still decided that I believe in this idea and I wanted to do that. So I feel that I really never give up. It was like really hard process also being a female founder, but then I proved I did the seed round, pre-seed round, and I made it. So I feel that having right people in the team, but also right advisors, people who really believe in you and believing in yourself, it's something that me personally helps a lot.
I think I was telling to one of my friends recently that when I started my first business, I was kind of delusional. I was delusional to a point that I believed I can actually build a business that turns out to be more than $1 million. So sometimes it helps to be delusional and be forceful. And I've had my share of experiences where the hard-hitting one was, there was a time where we almost went bankrupt. So these are things that not everybody knows. Many years back, and then we had it was a very tough time where suddenly our projections failed because of my incompetence at that time. I take full responsibility, and I I sold my car and my apartment, and I funded the company for the next 8 months, and then managed to kind of build the company back up again to what it was. So if you are a startup founder, yes, I think like Magdalena said, probably don't give up. But at some point you might have to give up. But it helps to be. I know more people going broke because they say, oh, Alaga told me. So yeah, but be practical. But at the same time, sometimes it helps to be very forceful and hopeful. So, but yeah, Katrin.
We have a very interesting situation in Estonia because there is a funny saying that nobody knows anybody who doesn't have a company. So basically, my former boss had 4 members household with 5 companies in the household. So I think it's like when the entrepreneurship is made easy and you can really fit it for your own needs, and you can really focus on your core business and on your own expertise without all these administrative things and putting effort and hours into running things and paperwork and stuff, then this is what everybody should have access to. And it's really like nothing else than just tailoring your own life, making your own purpose, sense of purpose to serve you and to do it the way you want your lifestyle also to be. I mean, maybe this is something that I would bring in. Great. Because I have been like having a side business, as Magdalena was saying, as a woman. And I think this is totally possible. Not many women actually see that there's a possibility to run your own little hobby-based businesses and do little side things that come in as a extra revenue stream. So yeah.
Great. Any last thoughts to the audience?
I think it's great to see this connection here. It's extremely gratifying to have this in a city like Linköping, Alaga. So I think many people here are honored, and I agree with Roger. It's nice to see so many faces here. So it will be I would say part IFS party, part IFS party plus, and then also the connections and the ecosystems. I think it cannot be understated because the globalization, how we cooperate, has come really far. So it's great that we can meet like this. And who knows, maybe we'll be here next year as well.
Yes, thank you for being here. Yeah.
So I can say the same, that it's an amazing opportunity for me as well. I've never been to Linköping before, so it's the first time.
Welcome.
Thank you, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Great. Katrin?
I would just say that for me it was so inspiring and so interesting to actually see the previous presentations and to actually see who we are working together here in Sweden. And Rootcode is one of our success stories, as you know yourself very well. So just to see and hear how this kind of remote cooperations and extended teams are actually bringing in so much success for both parties is fantastic. It's so uplifting.
Thank you so much, and hope you both enjoy Linköping and stay back and have some fun.
Thank
Thank you. Let's give a big round of applause to the
Thank you.
panel. Thank you so much.